resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is the Week in Geek with David D. Squared, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. Broadcasting from the Gregory Ricks & Associates Wealth Management Studios, here's D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth! This is the Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. All right, let me lay out the show for you. We are guest-free tonight. We may have a little surprise guest. My boy Keith Cooper from blerd-ish might join us towards the end of the show. We'll see, but we've got a lot of top nerd news to cover. We've got PlayStation's State of Play, some news drop there. We got some, oh my gosh, look, box office news, so a whole lot of stuff to get to tonight. So, let's do this. And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news stories. All right, joining me, as always, is my boy Skungy. Skungy, hey, what's shaking, bacon?
Not a whole lot, man. Good to be here as always.
So, look, you know what? I'm changing up the format because I'm just too excited about Willow. Willow is getting a series on Disney Plus. I've already talked about it, but we finally, during, Star Wars Celebration, we got a trailer for it. Take a listen to this.
Ooh, goody.
There is a story of a child destined to be an empress. And the unlikely hero who would protect her.
Man Mardigan?
There is a balance between all things.
Willow. Duh.
Light and shadow. Good and evil. When that balance is upset, the universe corrects.
The world needs you again. It needs your magic.
Into the unknown.
This is going to be like
That's where we must go.
Oh, sorry. This is going to be... This is probably the D&D movie, but that we wanted, but it's going to be better. I mean, you got Warwick Davis back playing the titular role. I love saying that word as Willow, and then you've got General Kale coming in. The coolest mask ever from any '80s bad guy, fantasy movie,
man.
And I'm really excited for this. It's a series. It doesn't come out till November 30th, but you know what? I'm cool waiting for that, because there's a lot of other stuff coming out before this. But, man, I'm excited, buddy. I'm excited.
Dude, Willow is one of my favorite things of all time. A lot of people just think they don't like Willow, but, I loved the video games, both the regular Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. I still have the board game of it, and I will be upset if Kevin Pollak does not return as one of the brownies. I will be upset.
Oh, my God, right? I totally forgot about those guys. Dude, remember, there was this little portion of time, I guess it was in the early 2000s, where streaming wasn't a huge thing, and most of, the circuit cities and Best Buys started to close down, and you couldn't find DVDs, and I literally had to scour the West Bank to finally find an actual physical copy of Willow, just so I could watch Willow again. But fun side note, I don't know if you know this, I found this out today. I was today years old when I found this out, that General Kale, his name is based on a film critic named Pauline Kael. And the reason they did that, they made her the bad guys, because every time George Lucas was attached to anything, she gave it bad reviews. So to a little nod, a little dig to a film critic. They named the bad guy after the film critic.
That's
awesome. Right? So I was interested by that. But the cool part is, though, they've got a whole brand new young cast, though. Mad Mardigan, they're going to have a Mad Mardigan-esque type player who's going to be in that player. I feel like it's a D&D game. But it's a young warriors, the kingdom. Allura Danan, I guess, is now the empress in charge, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. This looks like it's something new. It's not a reboot. It's a a continuation of a beloved movie. I'm really excited by this. I don't know why I've gotten so excited about this, but I think it was just because the movie was more than I ever expected. And Iceman was really pretty badass in it. Now that he looks like a homeless guy, I don't know. That's probably why he's not in it. I don't know. I'm a terrible person. I know. He's still alive, right? Is he still alive?
Yes. He can't talk.
Oh,
he physically can't talk, dude.
Oh, God, I am the worst person on the face of the planet. Sorry, Val. My bad, yo. But he could be a mute, though.
Moving on.
He could be a mute. It's magic. Come on. They've already recreated Darth Vader's voice, Luke Skywalker's voice. Just digitally recreate Mad Mardigan's voice. I think he would like it. Have I covered my ass sufficiently?
Yeah. You're good.
We're good. All right, moving on. In the box office, all right, there's a couple of strange box office things going on here. First and foremost, talking about Iceman, what a great segue. Top Gun 2 has scored $86 million in its second weekend. It hits $549 million globally. Tom Cruise has somehow managed to top Top Gun, but also his own record, but with War of the Worlds, scored $243 million. So he leaves that one in the dust. Now, granted, these numbers are not adjusted for inflation, but I think what this says is that people really are ready to get back out into the theaters, even to see a Tom Cruise, who we all know is just not right in the head. But, they got a volleyball
scene. A Scientologist movie?
A Scientologist movie. So, I don't know. I think this is more speaking to people are ready to get back out there, even though we've all had another round of COVID. I just got over it. It sucks. But you know what? People want to get out there and see stuff. And I'm totally fine with that, man. Get out there. But I'm still kind of flummoxed as to why Top Gun 2 Maverick is just beating the pants off of everything. It boggles my brain, sir.
Well, Top Gun was like everybody and their grandmother has seen Top Gun. You know why? Because it's on TBS every single day, all the time. It plays all the time. So people are like, I need to see another one. All right. They're indoctrinated to go see this film.
That's what it is? That's what you're trying to tell me?
I think it is because, it's been so long. And also, this movie has been teased for so long. It should have been out before the pandemic.
Well,
actually.
True.
It was done before the pandemic, and then something happened, and it got pushed back, and it got pushed back, and it got pushed back. So I think people the hype of it kind of finally caught up with it.
I think that something was called COVID, so that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
But if we look back, and we're sticking with Hollywood box office numbers here, the Batman box office has beaten Doctor Strange. Now, here's the weird part. All right, so they're not still out right now, but looking backwards, and this comes from Cosmic Book News, the guy who runs this site is a total tool bag, just to be completely honest with everybody here. So, and here's the thing. I was talking about The Batman with a friend of mine, and the thing is that, okay, The Batman, its first week, scored 134 million. Doctor Strange, 187 million. Okay, there you go. But into week 2, Batman made 66 while Doc only made 61. Week 3, Batman made 36 while Doc made 32. And then week 4, which is the Memorial Day weekend, Doctor Strange only racked up 16 while the Batman racked up 20 million. And week 5, the final week, is 9 million, and the Batman had scored 11 million. The reason I'm bringing this up is that it kind of goes into my comments about people are ready to get back out there. But the Batman, I do not think The Batman is better than Doctor Strange 2. I don't care what you say. I don't care what my 16-year-old son says, though I love him dearly. He has that, that righteousness that only a 16-year-old can have. But apparently, you are in the same camp with my 16-year-old son.
Okay, not necessarily. Okay, look, I enjoyed The Batman, and I watched it on HBO Max. I enjoyed it because I liked the more detective Batman than, the brooding Batman. He was brooding, but he was more detective in this one. But I think I know the reason why.
Why?
This comes down to name recognition. More people know Batman than they know Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is not as a popular comic book character or as a pulp fiction character as the Batman.
All right, I can see that, but it goes back to, like, I've seen this movie, and while I enjoyed it, I thought it was a slow start. It finally got to its point towards the end, and I guess spoiler alert, I mean, you finally see the angry vigilante become the air quote hero. He saves the day as opposed to beating someone senseless. He goes in there and gets his hands dirty and rescues the mayor, and all the people are like, oh, Batman, you are a hero. While I thought that was a cool, nice little trope, the way they end the movie, he's coming out of his sullen, darkened days of just, I'm an orphan. I liked that, but still, I don't want to watch the movie again. Like, if it comes on TBS, yeah, sure. Maybe.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's very, like, one shot, done. Will I watch the sequel? Absolutely, because I actually like Patterson as the Batman. But do I need to go watch this movie again? Not really.
No, I'm down with that. All right, so look, when
Doctor Strange, though, I do need to watch again.
I know, because there's so much stuff tied into it. And the friend that I was speaking about, we were talking about the Batman, he wanted to go see Doctor Strange, but he watched the first 5 minutes of it and had no clue what was going on. So he had to start all the way back at the beginning with Iron Man 1. He finally just watched Captain America's, the Winter Soldier, and he's like, holy crap, like, he goes, and now only 25% of the movie makes sense to me. So when we come back, we're going to talk about some Disney Plus upcoming news. We've got all that on the horizon, Sony's PlayStation State of Play, and more, and some Obi-Wan spoilers. Stick around. This is The Week in Geek with D Squared on iHeartRadio. This is the best Batman. Hey y'all, D Squared here, and I'm joined by a special guest, the Go Forblin, to bring you a special announcement. That's right. Go 4 Games, your friendly neighborhood game shop since 2010, is moving to 4953 West Napoleon Avenue in the Napoleon Plaza. Keep up to date with the move and Go 4Blin's adventure on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Go4GamesNola and Go4GamesNola.com. What's that? Oh, he says he can't wait for you to see his new pick of location at 4953 West Napoleon Avenue.
There is nothing like quality when working with a business. That's why Banks Media Connections make sure that your work is done with class, professionalism, and style. Social media and marketing, IT work, videos, decals, documents, business cards, resumes, flyers, and presentations. Banks Media Connections has all of your media and clerical needs in mind. Contact me, Malcolm Banks, at 251-287-4854, or reach out to us on Facebook and Google. Banks Media Connections. If you have a need, we can help with speed.
Now, from the Gregory Ricks and Associates Wealth Management Studios, this is News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Hello, this is Ethan Peck, Mr. Spock in Star Trek Discovery, and this is The Week in Geek.
Welcome back in to The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I am your host, D Squared. Now, as always, I want to strongly urge you to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website, or probably not, at twigradio.com, but definitely follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio and the Instagrams, The Week in Geek. Hey, Skungy, how can people listen to this show?
Well, if you missed any part of tonight's show, or if you want to hear Dave like romance about Warwick Davis again, you can always find us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and always that wonderful, stupendous iHeartRadio app.
So, speaking of the iHeartRadio app, if you have any comments on our thoughts this evening, or any just randomly at any point in time, go to the iHeartRadio app. Go to News Talk 99.5 WRNO. When you go to that on the iHeart app, you'll see a little red microphone button. Tap that, and you get 30 seconds of airtime for yourself. Don't curse. Say whatever you want to say. Make sure it's cogent and to the point, even if it's like Skungy smarter than Dave. I might even play that because Skungy could use a little bump in his ego. But you tap that, and then you can be on the radio with the Week in Geek. So, iHeartRadio app, News Talk 99.5 WRNO. Click that little red microphone button, and bada bing, bada boom, you're on the air. All right, moving on. Disney Plus has some upcoming movies and shows. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming out.
Good Lord, do they?
Man, well, and they just announced something else, which is I Am Groot, which is a bunch of little short little vignettes and little, cartoon things, which obviously there's no way you can make a long, drawn-out story arc with somebody who can only say, I am Groot. And it's the little baby Groot, which makes it cooler, though, because it's just totes adorbs, and, 3-5 minutes, there you go. So that has come out, and I just want to see the crossover of Baby Groot and Baby Yoda, and then I can die happy. I think we can all agree on that, right? So
yeah, no, you're right.
I know.
There's so much stuff that they announced though on this list, man. I mean, there's a full list that there's so much stuff coming out just before by the summer.
Well, in 3 days,
Miss Marvel.
3 days. In 3 days, Miss Marvel comes out, and this is kind of like this is all part of Phase 4. It's a year or two after the second blip, after the Avengers have defeated Thanos. Everybody knows because it's like Hawkeye. Hawkeye is like walking around town with the girl, and he's all there, it's like, oh my God, it's Hawkeye. There's even a Broadway show. So Miss Marvel.
I still want to see that.
Oh my God. No, I do not.
I will pay money to watch that.
Oh God, it was bad enough just watching the 3 minutes they had in the show of Hawkeye. But so I think what this is, Miss Marvel, she's a young girl. She's a teenager. She idolizes the Avengers and Miss Marvel. So this is all the timeline stuff that's going on, while also on the big screen you've got Doctor Strange, etc., which that is going to be coming out streaming on June 22nd. So if you have not gone out to the theaters to watch, Doctor Strange, just, sit your butt in your house like most people do these days and watch it when it comes out on June 22nd. But then they've got all these other things. You've got Baymax coming out in June 29th, which I don't know. I never really got into Big Hero 6.
I love Big Hero 6. It's so great.
So dumb. I don't know. I fell asleep twice trying to watch that stupid movie, but
that's
whatever.
Because you don't have a heart.
It's just like, and the bad guy lost, so I was just genuinely pissed about that. But then you've got Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation, which if it's anything like, the Christmas Day thing they had, just go ahead and sign me up. But then August 17th, they got the She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I'm still so on the fence about this. I don't know what this is going to be. Like if it's a fun crime procedural drama where she's dealing with, superhero destruction. This might be an interesting vignette, but I don't know where the hell they go with this show. I mean, they're handing off the torch from the Hulk to She-Hulk, maybe, but I don't know.
I will say that I am happy what Marvel did, because when I saw the first trailer, I was like, oh my God, why does that CGI look so bad? I mean, that CGI looks terrible. And they're like, oh God, we made a mistake. Let's fix it. So at least they're course correcting on it. So I got a little bit of faith in the show.
Oh, okay. So just like how Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie put in ugly Sonic, you think that because they changed the way things looked, it'll make it better? Because of course I'm I'm kind of torpedoing my own argument.
Chip and Dale's Rescue Ranger movie is awesome. That was the best movies I've seen all year.
That is the Easter egg of Easter egg movies. Like there's just everything, something for everyone, and even the pothead. I can't even do his laugh. Oh God, he plays this dwarf with his dead CGI eyes. I mean, it's like Roger Rabbit.
Rogen.
Yeah, Seth Rogen. I mean, it's like Roger Rabbit on steroids. That movie. I mean, it
really was.
But then in August you got Andor coming out, which I'm really stoked about that. You and I talked about that last week. But then you got Pinocchio, the live action.
What a surprise drop on that. Nobody knew anything about that.
No, we had heard something about it that was in the works. I think they kept it under wraps because who asked for this? I mean, I know this has been what Disney's been doing.
They're remaking all their original movies, though. That's the thing. They're remaking all of them.
I get that. I get that. But, I mean, why? I mean, come on. I mean, I know that the numbers of those movies were not what they really wanted. I mean, there's... Great, you're bringing in some new fans for Disney. I mean, I get it. You've got to constantly keep things fresh because you need to sell tickets to Disneyland and Disney World. I understand the whole capitalistic reasoning behind it. I'm just saying that it looks like it's going to be just weird, man. It just looks like it's going to be weird. Like it's going to be some sort of like LSD-fueled nightmare. Oh, God, because... I don't know, man.
I'm with you. I don't know how well it's going to be. I don't know, but it seems that Disney is hell-bent on remaking every single original animated movie that they've had from their classic collection.
Well,
so
give me the anthropomorphic Robin Hood and Black Cauldron, and I'll be happy. Okay, give me that.
I'll be okay with that too. Robin Hood's my favorite Disney movie.
I swear, I saw it in the Kenilworth Mall Theater, which is out in New Orleans East, which is destroyed. I think it might be a church now. Anything that it was big enough in anywhere has become a church or a Spirit Halloween store. But I'm leaving the final one just for you, Skungy. Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out on September 30th. So all of Halloween, all through October, you can enjoy Hocus Pocus 2 that has Doug Jones in it. Friend of the show, Doug Jones.
Friend of the show. And in fact, I actually talked to him about Hocus Pocus 2 when we met him at the con. I was like, oh my God, Hocus Pocus 2, it's done. It's coming out. And he even plugged it to me. Right. Nothing like to do with anything media. He was like, yes, and it's coming out September 30th on Disney Plus. And I'm like, Jesus.
So wrapping up this segment, let's do some Sony State of Play stuff. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot that came out with this one. I mean, it was mostly announcements of remakes. The only new thing that they had was Stray, which is apparently a little kitty cat with a backpack that is wandering around a world filled with robots. That sounds weird, but you know what? Sure. Why the hell not? I mean, it's new. I'll take a look at it. I'm a cat person. I'm a cat person. I don't understand why more dudes aren't cat persons because a cat is just like a dude. It comes around when it wants something, and then it's like, leave me the hell alone. Why are more dudes not cat people? It makes no sense to me. Oh, God.
Dude, Stray is the... Oh, look, I am excited about Stray. I was excited about it when it was announced at E3 last year. And I'll tell you this about the whole State of Play. Stray is the only thing that had me excited. I know that's going to be a little controversial, but you know what? I was not happy with the State of Play because Stray is the only thing that is announced other than another indie title that was announced for this year. Everything that they announced was for next year. Sony has their new streaming service coming out in 1 month. They didn't tell you anything about that. Sony has their new God of War game, God of War Ragnarok, which is coming out this year. Nothing about that. Everything was about next year. This was not a good State of Play.
So Resident Evil, they're supposed to be remaking that, Resident Evil 4, my apologies.
Evil 4.
And then Resident Evil Village is going to go VR. Well, now, while that does sound intriguing to me, I mean, I like the remakes. As soon as Resident Evil, the first one that they remade came out, I bought it because I wanted to relive the terror of those little opening doors because that just scared the pants off of me. But I think, sidebar, I watched the new Resident Evil that came out, last year or so, something like that? I say new.
Yeah, it was
new-ish.
like last year.
Oh, my God. Dude, look, I really liked the movie. It was really pretty dang good. The problem was every other word was the F-bomb. And I watched it with my 9-year-old Dean, and like every other, it was like watching Platoon with my mother when I was a kid. Like I'm like, Mommy, I want to see a war movie. Let's go. Every other word's the F-bomb. I'm looking at Dean, and Dean's looking at me because he's the one who's always like, Dad, you said a bad word. I'm like, I know, son, I'm aware. He's like, this has a lot of bad words. I'm like, I know, shut up. And then like every other word is the F word. Every other word. Oh, my God. So, but other than that, really, the Resident Evil remakes, Horizon, Spider-Man.
I was very happy with the Resident Evil because I'm really looking forward to that. And I like the whole thing about the VR Resident Evil 7 Resident Evil 8. I love the Village, but it was like, all right, here's the VR stuff. And we have a lot of VR stuff that we're going to show you. But they still didn't say when the VR stuff was coming out. There was no release dates. And it's very frustrating when you just sit there and show people this because the reason why they let this out is because E3 was supposed to happen this week, but it didn't because of COVID. Once again, they canceled it. So that is why they had this whole thing this week, and they didn't release a date or anything coming soon, and it's very frustrating for the fans.
Yes, it is. All right, when we come back, we'll do Skungy's Pick of the Week. This is The Week in Geek with D Squared on iHeartRadio.
He's ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big day. Wherever there's a hang, you'll find a Spider-Man.
Box tea again? Why don't you try the tea blends from the Viridian Tea Company? They sell blends that are guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With blends like Quantum Mechanics, Caligula's Herbal Nerve Tonic, and Manta Ray Dreaming, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop at 432 North Anthony Street or online at Etsy at the Viridian Tea Company. So put down the box and order some tea from the Viridian Tea Company today. Sincerely, your taste buds. D4 Tabletop Gaming Cafe at 8228 Oak Street wants to remind you that they are open for business. Tables are available for your next game night. Also, the Adventurers League is still running on Fridays at 7 p.m. and Magic the Gathering drafts are still on Saturdays at 1. So come over and check out their expanded inventory of miniatures and miniature paints, board games, RPGs, and TCGs. Find them on Facebook at D4 Tabletop Gaming Cafe or stop by the shop at 8228 Oak Street, just 2 blocks off of Carrollton. Or go to their website at d4cafe.biz. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D Squared. And do you like all things sci-fi and beyond? Go check out scifiction.world. Follow them on Facebook and Twitter at scifiction. They do weekly updates with tons of content, including videos, podcasts, interviews, news, and more. That's scifiction.world. And yes, it really is scifiction.world. I tried it myself. I was expecting a .com, but there's no, just scifiction.world. And follow them on Twitter and Facebook at scifiction. Go do it now.
Now, from the Gregory Ricks and Associates Wealth Management Studios, this is News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Hey, Dad, this is Pinky of Pinky and the Brain. And when Brain and I are not planning to take over the world, which is pretty much never, but when that happens, the only show we listen to, or rather the only show Brain allows me to listen to, is The Week in Geek on WRNO. Blerd.
Welcome back in to The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I am your host, D Squared. All right, it's been a minute since we've actually had some games because of stupid old PlayStation and everything else, but let's do this.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
I love lamp.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
All right, Skungy. So we don't have a video game, but you said there's a board game, and you're saying I'm going to like it. I'm on the fence already because I don't like anything.
Look, I'm telling you, don't like anything. All right, but here's the thing. I don't know if you remember this. This is a game that you played a long time ago, and we actually used to play this in the bar room that you owned.
Okay.
All right. We played this game. It was Star Wars Epic Duels. I don't know if you remember it, but it was where you had a whole bunch of people, and it was mixed match. You could have, like, Luke and Leia versus Han and Chewie, or, like, Anakin and the Clone Troopers. I don't know if you remember that game.
No, not really. But, I mean, I was drunk the entire time I owned my bar, so... Apparently I enjoyed it. Okay, so tell me how much I enjoyed it.
You really enjoyed it. Well, once again, last week I talked about them. I'm talking about them again. Restoration Games decided to take that it was Star Wars Epic Duel Battle, and they made it into a new system, and they called it Unmatched.
Okay.
Now, they couldn't get the license for Star Wars, which is understandable. So they decided to start making them in copyrighted characters. So the first volume included Medusa, King Arthur, Alice, and Sinbad. Now, I discovered this game. So I discovered this game, and I realized that, oh my God, it's the same exact battle system as the Star Wars Epic Duels.
Okay.
And I love that game. I still own it, and I had so much fun. And I was like, well, they've updated it and, cleaned it up and everything. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Well, these guys have decided, let's just take this a step further. So they have not only them, they've got a whole line of characters. So they have stuff like there's
so
Achilles,
so it's all the stuff that's like public IP where like which is the reason.
Not necessarily.
Like because we always get League of Extraordinary Gentlemen on steroids, so Alan Quartermain and all this kind of stuff.
Well, so that's how it kind of started, and they have there was their second big box one that came with 4 characters was called Cobble and Fog, which is considered to be their best one, which has the Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Dracula, and Sherlock Holmes, all public IPs.
Right.
So, they're like, okay, we can get away with them. Well, it started doing so well, they're like, well, a bunch of companies decided, let's get in on this. So they have one for Jurassic Park. They have the InGen. They have the dude who was in charge of keeping all the raptors in bay and versus the raptors.
Oh, you're a smart one, or whatever the hell he said.
Exact clever girl.
Clever girl, that's it.
That dude. But then they have a set for Robin Hood and Bigfoot, or Little Red Riding Hood versus Beowulf.
That's dumb, but I like it. All right, so is this a card game or a board game though?
Okay, so it is a card-driven game. Now there are miniatures. You have a map. All right, and there are different zones in the map, and the whole point of it is that you're trying to knock out your opponent. So the thing is that this whole system works with anything. So one of the most recent ones is Jurassic Park, Dr. Sadler, who was Laura Dern's character, versus T-Rex. So you can have a T-Rex versus King Arthur.
Okay, maybe now. All right, now I'm on board. I want to see that fight.
But you sit there and it's like, so you have a deck of cards and you use those cards and you have 3 different actions. You can move, you can attack, or you can do what's called scheme, and depending on what it is. And you try to just knock the opponent's health down. Now, a lot of characters have a sidekick. For instance, Dr. Sadler has Ian Malcolm. That's Jeff Goldblum's character as their side character. Now, some of them don't. Now, there are so many different sets that I haven't mentioned. Deadpool is a character on it. Now, Deadpool is kind of hard to find, and it's going to be a little expensive to get him. But there's also Bruce Lee, and they have a Buffy the Vampire Slayer set for it. So you can play as Buffy or Spike or Angel. But they just released the Marvel set, which has Redemption Row and Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen has Daredevil, Bullseye, and Elektra. And Redemption Row has Luke Cage, Ghost Rider, and the recently popular Moon Knight.
Aha. Okay. All right.
So you get to play as all these characters, and the beautiful thing about this entire set is that no matter what, you can buy one set. Okay. I'm just going to buy the Redemption Row, which is like $30 or $40.
Okay.
And that's a full game. I'm going to buy the Jurassic Park, Sadler versus T-Rex. 2 characters. That's a full game. Everything is a full game. Now, the only ones that aren't is if you buy the Deadpool because it's one character, and there's one other single character, and that's Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is the most overpowered character in the set.
Wow.
I'm just going to say it right now.
And price and platform. I'm so used to. Go ahead, buddy.
Unmatched it's very in pricing. So you can get some of like the 2-packs for like $20. You can get the 4-pack sets, range between $40 and $50 depending on which one. Now, some of them are out of print, but a lot of them are not. So you can get like the Deadpool and the Bruce Lee. Those are extremely hard to find. But all the regular ones like Volume 1, Volume 2, the Buffy, and the brand new Marvel ones, those are all easy to get. You can get those really easy. And like I said, they run between $20 and $50 depending on which set you get.
All right, so it's Unmatched. Where do you find said cards in game?
So you can get them. Actually, you can go online, but preferably you can go to your local gaming store like Go for Games. You can get them there.
Okay, well, good.
You can go to Mac and Go for Games and tell them to order them for you.
There you go. I like that. Just tell Mac what to do. Just you go in there, Mac, send me this now. Mac,
do it.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with Keith Cooper of blerd-ish.com. He's actually doing an event right now. He's going to take some time out with us to join us on tonight's show. We're going to talk about the whole Reva thing from Obi-Wan Kenobi, the racist tweets where even Disney had to step in and, kind of swing its weight about. So instead of, 2 white dudes talking about it, we get my guy who is in the mix from blerd-ish.com, Keith Cooper. Coming up next, this is The Week in Geek with D Squared on iHeartRadio.
Putting the smart in your smart device. Get your news and talk by saying,
play News Talk 99.5 WRNO on the iHeartRadio app.
Box tea again? Why don't you try the tea blends from the Viridian Tea Company? They sell blends that are guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With blends like Quantum Mechanics, Caligula's Herbal Nerve Tonic, and Manta Ray Dreaming. Your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop at 432 North Anthony Street or online at Etsy at the Viridian Tea Company. So put down the box and order some tea from the Viridian Tea Company today. Sincerely, your taste buds.
Mata Hari, Agent H-21, is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H-21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H-21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
Welcome back to The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. Like them on Facebook at The Week in Geek Radio Show. Here's D Squared.
Welcome back in to The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I want to thank Keith Cooper of blerd-ish, blerd-ish.com. Go check it out. Go support our local creators. I got my boy Keith Cooper on board with us right now. He's with blerd-ish.com. And so look, one of the things, he's out there doing a show right now, and he's got MicroCon coming up. Hey, Keith, how you doing today, bro?
Doing all right. Believe it or not, look, I'm doing a show. I'm in East Baton Rouge in the East Baton Rouge Parish Library on Goodwood. I'm looking at my co-host. He's hosting the hip-hop event. Shout out to Mike T. Shout out to Mark Dub. So I'm looking at him dancing while I'm in here talking nerd stuff.
I dig it. This is how it should be. This is how it should be. All right, Keith.
Hey,
look.
we're celebrating our 6 years of blerd-ish.com.
Man, 6 years already? Jesus, dude. That's awesome.
6 years of the podcast.
Wow. So now look, one of the things I wanted to bring you on about tonight, because I know you were busy right now, but like we have Obi-Wan Kenobi news and the actress Reva, who has been pretty much attacked just simply because she's black, and people are just, crappy people sometimes. And so we could have two white dudes talk about it, but my man who runs blerd-ish.com, I wanted to bring you on, Keith. So look, I know you've been keeping up with this whole situation with Moses Ingram. I mean, what is going on, dude?
What's going on and what has not been going on? It's the usual. A bunch of man babies who can't accept that a universe, a show about galaxies far, far away, have more than people that look and beings that look like them.
Wait, and Disney tweeted out there are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be a racist. That they gotta say that.
It's bad when Disney, who don't always get it right, is a diversity. Or, being open-minded, we'll have to tweet this out. That's how bad it was. I saw some of the comments, and they were disgusting.
I mean, that's what I don't understand, because all right, hold on, let me get my sound effect ready, because I got to do this real quick. All right, so Obi-Wan spoilers real quick. I mean, look, and it's not really a spoiler unless you haven't seen it, but the series kind of opens up with little younglings during Order 66. So the Jedi are being massacred by Vader's personal troops, and there's 4 or 5 little younglings, and one of them is a young black girl. And now the prevailing theory is that that's probably Reva, which is why the Inquisitors and the Fifth Brother and everybody else hates her, because she was originally a Jedi and they were all picked by Emperor Palpatine before Order 66. So she's like this Johnny come lately, and that's why they all look down their nose at her. But I mean, the story arc is already awesome, and that's what I don't understand, why people are so upset about the character. Is it just thinly veiled racism? Or not so thinly veiled?
Oh, it's not even thin, bro. It's not thinly veiled. Like, I'm not going even, since I'm on here, look, I don't care who get mad. I'm going to say this as PG as I can.
All right.
Just go easily, Google the comments that she had to Screen Post, that she was being called everything from the N-word, so you ain't the only N-word in the galaxy, or, they even took a shot at Floyd, at George Floyd, and used his death as a joke. And it was a terribly written joke. I mean, it wouldn't even even if you're going to be a racist, you got at least be able to spell and enunciate your damn joke. And it was so bad. Like, we barely could figure it, but it was terrible. And it's just like, this woman who, what's crazy? Now, shout out to Double Toasted. I was listening, and they made a good point. No, I never even knew of this actress until these racist crybabies got up here and did all this foolishness. So, if this was going to be a one-and-done character, guess what you done did? You have made her a star. Right. You have made her, if you thought she was going to go away, she is not. You're going to get people to rally behind her, and they're going to blow her up. And that's what generally happens.
Well, and then if it's a well-written story, it doesn't matter, because it's a well-written story. I mean, if this pans out, and this is just the fan theory side of stuff, where if that ends up being her, it would explain why she hates Obi-Wan so much. I mean, it would explain a lot of things.
Exactly.
And it's character-driven, which was...
Yeah. And can I just keep it real? I'm going to just keep it real for you.
Yes,
Can I be real, Dave?
Yes, sir, you may.
I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy. I wouldn't really, Obi-Wan Kenobi is on the back.
And that was Keith
burner.
Cooper. Keith Cooper, thank you very much. All right, let's move on.
Let me double down on this again. I am not the biggest Star Wars guy. I don't have nothing against it. I clearly, some of the fans, but when I saw her, I wanted to actually watch, because she's fine. She's beautiful. All right. So she's beautiful and she's talented, and you know what? People are going to support. I mean, I might actually go buy one of the damn toys.
There you go.
Because she got 2 toys coming out, and it's like, this is what people are talking about. This is why people are creating different sides of geekdom and nerddom to have representation. without this foolishness going on. And you know what? It's not going to stop racism, but you know what? Maybe we can teach and learn others, and people can stop this foolishness. But you know what? I also want to take a shot at some of the Star Wars fans.
Okay.
Y'all get everything. Y'all get content. Good Lord. You have one of the most well-moneyed companies that want to make your content.
Right.
Shut up and enjoy it. My God. Like, look, I am an anime fan, right? I'm a big anime fan.
I swear.
Look, like, you know, I love Cowboy Bebop the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was one of the weirdos that liked the live action show. Am I ever going to get any more of either one? No.
Yeah, my son's right there with you. My son was so pissed when they canceled it after the first season because he was so stoked, wanted more Cowboy Bebop in his life, and he ain't getting it.
I like it too. And it's like, yes, I get the extended universe of Space. Tell them to watch Space Dandy. Tell them to watch Carol on Tuesday. That's your extended universe of that. But that's it. Watanabe don't do like double seasons of stuff. You lucky you get a season 2 of Carol and Tuesday. That's it.
Look,
like, it ain't gonna be like no 40 years of this stuff.
Right. That is Keith Cooper of blerd-ish. Keith, look, you got MicroCon coming up. Tell the listeners about that. Yeah. And then, of course, tell people about your website and all the stuff that you have available.
MicroCon basically started 6 years ago. I'm one of the committee planners. So my day job, the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. You can find more about it at www.ebrpl.com/MCMC. Basically, it's a free con. It's a library con, but we're one of the biggest libraries in the South. This branch in particular in our system is very well funded. So we get vendors to come out. We get comic book writers. We get panelists, different things. We actually expanded it to a 2-day con last year. So it came back after COVID. And we've been trying to grow it, and we're working on it. I actually have a meeting on it Wednesday. A couple of vendors out here that I'm looking at right here are going to be here with me. I like my friend Lazy Nerds of Aaron. If any of y'all been on the local comic book scene, con scene, you definitely met Lazy Nerds somewhere from here to Chicago to Florida.
Sweet.
So that's just something that it's been a wonderful thing to do and to be a part of that. And the mission statement of that con, guess what, is to actually have diversity in different things. So if you're a crybaby Star Wars fan who don't like different voices or opinions, come anyway and learn something. I don't want you not to come. I want you to come, bring a good attitude, and learn something. And maybe, just maybe, we'll change your mind. But you can find it.
If somebody's mind is already open, blerd-ish.com, where they can catch your podcast, but you got comic books, you got T-shirts. Where can people follow Blerd-ish?
You can follow me at www.blerd-ish.com. That's www.blerd-ish.com. Shirts, comics, merch, different things. The merch store is going to be on sale for the anniversary all month long in June. And again, shout out to my co-host and shout out to the creator of this hip-hop festival going on right now, Mike T. It's our birthdays, and it's Blerd-ish anniversary, so June is an important month for us.
Dude, that is awesome. Well, Keith, look, I really do appreciate you taking time out, because I know you're literally busy right now working a convention, so thank you so much, dude. I appreciate your insight, brother.
No problem.
Thank you, man. Now, all right, Obi-Wan Kenobi, spoilers right now. All right, if you haven't seen episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, we're about to spoil some stuff for you, but I think most people already know that Darth Vader showed back up, and wow, like the anger was palpable coming out of Vader, and he is just dragging people through force chokes. He cracked some kid's neck. I mean, he's just like, and he doesn't say a word the whole time. Doesn't say when he's killing people, like he's just like, hey, Obi-Wan, I feel your presence. I'm just going to kill people until you show up. And Obi-Wan was a little baby and was just terrified when you finally get the showdown where it's like red lightsaber. Obi-Wan's like, nope, and he runs away. It's like, you little little wimp. And I think one of the things that I've liked about this so far is, like we talked about it last week, where episode 1 was really how much of a broken man he is, the PTSD he suffered from all this. And now here he is. He's already chopped off his legs once, he's already beaten him, but he's like, nope, I don't want none of that. Nope. And he just bolted. Look, the fire scene where he sets some stuff on fire and starts dragging Obi-Wan through the fire. He's like, it's only just begun. Your pain has just begun. He is ready to put this dude through months, years of pain and agony for payback. And dude, I was really.
I am what you made me.
Yeah,
that's what he said. But I don't know. I love that. I love the whole thing, but it ruins the original.
No,
I've got to say that.
It doesn't yet.
Last time you met me, you were the master. I was the learner, and it's like,
hold on. No, stop. Stop.
Say that.
Vader says stop. Okay, he says stop because the season's not over. The show's not over. What's going to happen? Because Obi-Wan has to find his sack again. So he is going to have to show down with Vader again. And do you think that he's not going to mop the floor with him? Because it took him 5 seconds just to grab Leia when she was falling off a building. His force powers are so rusty, it's an embarrassment. He was a master. Not like Anakin was I'm supposed to be a master. He was a master. And he has just been living in a cave for a decade, and he forgot how to do all this stuff. He hasn't even gotten in touch with Qui-Gon Jinn yet. So that also means maybe Yoda pops up. And if Yoda pops up, I'm going to lose my damn mind. So the whole thing, I was but the learner and you were the master, it doesn't hold yet because the season ain't over, and it's going to come back around. Obi will kick his ass, and then he'll be back to being the learner. So it's all good, Skungy.
I hope you are.
I know
right.
I'm right.
I really do.
Why do people doubt me? Why do people doubt me? We got 30 seconds. All right. As always, I want to strongly urge people to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio. The Instagram is The Week in Geek. Download the iHeartRadio app. Go to News Talk 99.5 WRNO. Click that red microphone button. 30 seconds. Give me your thoughts on Obi-Wan. Is he but the learner and the master? I don't know. You tell me. You can be on the show. Keith Cooper, blerd-ish.com. Thank you. Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
From the Gregory Ricks and Associates Wealth Management Studios, WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeartRadio station.